If you want 2026 to be the year your life will pivot, the year you finally become the man you keep imagining, then this video is for you. Because nothing changes until you change, and no change lasts unless it has structure beneath it. Most young men don't have that structure. They draft, they react, they wake up every day hoping things will just get better. But deep down they know they're standing on the same foundation that failed them last year. Before 2026 arrives, every young man has a decision to make. Keep drafting or restructure his entire life from the ground up. And the reason this decision is so hard is simple. Men today are drowning in information but striving for clarity. Your mind is scattered, your habits are weak, your decision is unclear, you feel like you're behind. Not because of your age, but because you're not living like the man you know you could be. You scroll and learn and consume, but nothing actually integrates. Nothing sticks. Nothing transforms you. That's where this video comes in. Because there is one book that acts like a father, a mentor, and a mirror all at once. 12 Rules for Life by Jordan B. Peterson. Not a self-improvement book, a war manual for inner order. A blueprint for understanding the psychology, biology, and spiritual principle that shape your identity as a man. Those rules are not tips, they ancient laws, the kind you break at your own cost. They show you why your life feels chaotic, why your mind feels heavy, and why you keep failing into the same patterns. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of all 12 rules. So let's begin. Rule number 1, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Every man has heard fix your posture. But rule number 1 is not about posture. It's about dominance. It's about identity. Peterson starts with the lobster for a reason. Because the hierarchy is older than your culture, your beliefs, your excuse. 350 million years old. And inside that hierarchy, one truth governs everything. How you physically carry yourself determines how your brain treats you. A dominant lobster stands tall, opens up, occupies space. Its brain produces serotonin, the chemical of confidence, order, and upward movement. A defeated lobster collapses in and its serotonin crashes. Once that happens, its entire life becomes smaller. Humans are no different. When you slouch, shrink your presence, you're sending your brain one message. I am prey. I am uncertain. I am not capable. Your neurochemistry lessens, your confidence decreases, your courage fades. Your mind starts generating doubts that were never there before. Avoiding conflict doesn't make you peaceful, it makes you chemically weak. Every time you retreat, your brain rewrites your identity downward. Every time you stand firm, even in small moments, it rewrites it upward. Stand like a man if you want to think like a man. Rule 1 is a physical commandment. It's the moment you stop letting your body betray your potential. Your posture becomes declaration to your brain, your environment, and your future. Your body teaches your brain how powerful you are. Stand up straight and your life will rise to meet you. Rule 2. Treat yourself like someone you're responsible for helping. Men have a strange pattern. We protect others with strength and destroys ourselves with neglect. If a friend needed help, you would show up. If a child needed guidance, you would give it. If someone you loved was drifting, you will do everything to pull them back on track. But when it comes to you, you tolerate habits that are killing your confidence. You break promises to yourself without hesitation. You let your future self suffer because your present self is tired. Peterson exposes the core truth. You would never treat someone you care about the way you treat yourself. Rule 2 is not about self-care. It's about responsibility. It's about becoming the guardian of your own potential. The man who takes himself seriously enough to act. You're not a child anymore. No one is coming to save you. The man you're becoming depends entirely on the choices you make when no one is watching. Discipline is self-respect, not punishment. When you force yourself to eat clean, train, sleep early, study, create, you're not being harsh on yourself. You're proving to your soul that you're worth protecting. Your future depends on this shift, because the moment you start treating yourself like someone you're responsible for helping, your life stops being chaotic and starts becoming yours. Rule 3. Choose friends who want you to win. Your friends are more than companions. They are the architects of your future. Every word they speak, every habit they model, every choice they celebrate or tolerate, it shapes you. Low-level friends keep you in low-level loops. They normalize excuses, hesitation, and mediocrity. If you linger too long in that orbit, your potential shrinks, quietly, imperceptibly, until one day you wake up and wonder why your life looks like theirs. Conversely, choosing friends who push, challenge, and expect the best of you is like entering a gym for your soul. You will be uncomfortable, you will be tested, but you will grow faster than you ever could alone. Peterson's core principle here is clear. Your environment is a purview of your destiny. If the people around you are weak, toxic, or aimless, your life will follow suit. Brotherhood is earned, not given. You don't attach to anyone who drains you. You invest in those who demand excellence, and you reciprocate the same fire. Sometimes the most moral decision is cutting people off. It's not cruelty, it's a protection of your time, your energy, and the man you are becoming. Remember this, the company you keep either anchors you in the mud or launches you towards the highest you were meant to reach. Rule 4. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. The modern man is trapped in a relentless invisible war. Comparison. Every scroll, every post, every created highlights reel screams at you. You're behind. You're not enough. And without even realizing it, you start measuring yourself against someone else's fantasy, someone else's carefully constructed persona. Peterson calls this the trap of comparison, and he gives a simple solution. Aim small, track progress. Don't measure your worth against someone else's success, their cars, their house, their Instagram life. Measure it against your own yesterday. Ask yourself, am I stronger than I was last week, wiser than I was last month, or disciplined than I was last year? Tiny improvements compound. They are invisible until suddenly they aren't, until you realize you are no longer the man you used to be. Compete with your best, not their fantasy. Your rival is a version of yourself who stayed stuck, lazy, scared, or distracted. Beat him, outperform him, outgrow him. Self-mastery skills. Every skill, every habit, every choice you improve today builds the man you become tomorrow. Comparison to others is a trap. Comparison to yourself is leverage. Focus on yesterday's mistakes, yesterday's weaknesses, yesterday's fears, and turn them into today's victories. Do that consistently, and you don't just catch up, you surge ahead. Rule 5. Don't let your kids do anything that makes you dislike them. This rule isn't just for parents. It's for every young man learning to lead himself. If you don't set boundaries, enforce discipline, and demand responsibility for yourself now, the world will do it for you later, and it won't be gentle. Peterson's lesson is clear. Structure is not optional. Children need it because they don't yet understand the consequences of their actions. Adults need it for the same reason. Left unchecked, your impulses, habits, and distractions will sabotage your potential. Be the authority in your own life. Set rules. Follow them. Correct yourself when you slap. Lead yourself as a parent would lead a child, with firmness, clarity, and the expectation that growth is non-negotiable. This is your blueprint for self-leadership. Identify behaviors that harm your progress. Stop them before they spiral. Reward yourself for discipline. The men who succeed are the ones who enforced order in their own lives long before anyone else told them to. Those who delay discipline discover the hard way that the world doesn't negotiate. Take control early, and you become the man others want to follow, and the man you've always wanted to be. Set your house in order before you criticize the world. Most men want to fix society, change politics, or call out injustice, but their own lives are a mess. Your room is a battlefield, your schedule a disaster, your relationships strained, and yet you wonder why the world feels unfair. Peterson's insight is brutal but simple. You cannot fight chaos outside until you fight it inside. Rejection is easy, resentment is natural, but blaming the world while you live in disorder is cowardice. Clean your life, then clean your legacy. Order starts small, making your bed, keeping your finances in check, showing up consistently for your obligations. Those acts are not mundane. They secret exercises in responsibility. Every small victory over chaos reinforces your dominance over your own existence. Men who set their house in order gain clarity, authority, and power. They think straighter, act sharper, and lead without apology. Discipline in your personal life becomes the foundation for influence in the wider world. Personal responsibility isn't a burden. It's the ultimate act of masculine power. The man who holds himself accountable first does not need to waste energy on complaining. Instead, he channels his energy into meaningful action. Your legacy is built on the life you manage today. Clean your mind, habits, your space, then step into the world with credibility and authority. Rule 6 is a warning, a blueprint, and a call to arm. Order yourself first, or be ordered by the chaos around you. Rule 7. Work toward what is meaningful, not what is expedient. This rule is a cornerstone for any young man who's seeking to dominate his life. Cheap pleasure are everywhere. Scrolling feeds, banging shows, chasing temporary heights, they give you dopamine, sure, but they steal your time, energy, and vision. If you want 2026 to be a pivot year, you must reject the instant in favor of the endurance. Meaning is heavier than pleasure. Legacy is deeper than comfort. Every hour you spend on convenience is an hour stolen from building a life worth living. Peterson calls it choosing what's meaningful over what's expedient, the heroic path over the convenient path. A man's life is a series of sacrifices. The hero's journey is not about easy wins, it's about carrying burdens that shape character. The men who succeed are those who are willing to endure short-term pain for long-term gains. This is how you escape mediocrity, how you break free from the passive patterns society feeds you. Define the mission that gives your life structure. It could be building a business, mastering your body. Every action should align with that mission. You skip the shortcut and measure success in growth, discipline, and impact, not likes, followers, or fleeting pleasure. This rule is more than advice. It's a compass. It tells you where to invest your energy, how to prioritize, and what to sacrifice without regret. If you follow it, you will find that life no longer drafts around you. Instead, it begins to orbit around a meaningful center, a purpose that commands respect, drives action, and builds the kind of man who leaves a mark. Rule 7: transform comfort into courage, laziness into strategy, and fleeting pleasure into lasting power. It's the defining principle that separates boys from men, spectators from warriors, and wasted years from a life fully claimed. Rule 8: tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Most men live fragmented lives because they lie to themselves, to others, and even about their goals. Self-deception roots the soul. It divides your mind from your body, your actions from your intentions. Lying is seductive. It offers comfort in the short term. You avoid responsibility, postpone hard choices, and pretend that failure isn't happening. But every lie chips away at your clarity, your confidence, and your capacity to act decisively. Honesty is a warrior's foundation. A man who tells the truth, even when it burns, becomes whole. He moves through life unafraid, aligned, and powerful. Truth is the lens through which you see the world clearly, and the map by which you navigate toward what actually matters. Stop lying to yourself about what you want, who you are, or what you're capable of. Set realistic goals. Face the gaps in your character. Don't create excuses. Don't tell comforting stories. Just see reality for what it is. Brutal, demanding, and precise. If you want clarity, if you want mastery, stop lying. Truth is uncomfortable, it's costly, but it liberates. And the man who lives by truth is the man who can stand tall, act decisively, and command his life without internal sabotage. Honesty is not optional. It's the backbone of every man who intends to shape his destiny. Rule 9. Assume the person you're listening to knows something you don't. Humility isn't weakness. It's the cornerstone of strength. The moment you think you already know everything, you stop growing. Real power comes from being a relentless learner. The strongest men are not those who dominate conversations. They're the ones who listen, who observe, who adjust their map of the world based on new insights. Every person you meet knows something you don't. The barista, the janitor, the veteran, the old mentor, all of them are walking libraries. Your job isn't to compete with them in ego, it's to extract the truths they carry and integrate it into your life. Listening sharpens your thinking. It forces you to structure your own thoughts. It turns conversation into a mental gym where you train your judgment, your awareness, and your ability to act wisely. When someone speaks, resist the urge to plan your response. Focus on understanding. Then ask questions that push deeper. Strength isn't about having all the answers. It's about being open to the ones you haven't yet discovered. Humility is your secret weapon. Rule 10. Be precise in your speech. Vague words create vague lives. If you can't articulate what's wrong, how will you fix it? If you can't define the chaos, how you can navigate through it? Men get stuck not because life is too hard, but because their problems are blurry and undefined. Peterson calls it naming the dragon. Every fear, every obstacle, every weakness has a name. You can't slay what you refuse to recognize. Ambiguity is the enemy of action. Precision is a weapon. Clarity equals control. When you speak precisely to yourself or other, you create boundaries, set expectations, and define your words. Precision isn't pedantry, it's power. The man who can describe his struggles, articulate his goals, and specify his rules is the man who can move mountains. Stop saying I don't know or it's complicated. Break it down. If your health is off, describe exactly what's happening. If your career is stagnant, define exact barriers. Spell out the dragon's size, shape, and location. Language is the map of reality. When you define the problem, you define the path forward. Vague speech equal wandering life. Precise speech equal directed life. Master your words and you master your word. Rule 11. Don't disturb children while they skateboarding. Skateboarding is a metaphor. It's not about tricks, it's about risk, failure, and resilience. Children learn by failing. Men do too. You've been trained to overprotect yourself, to avoid danger, to stay comfortable. But comfort is the enemy of growth. Avoiding risk shrinks your potential. Playing it safe erodes your spine, your courage, your masculinity. Lean into stress, lean into challenge, lean into the unknown. You grow by carrying weight, physically, mentally, and emotional, not by sidestepping it. Pain, discomfort, and chaos are teachers. The man who faces them emerges stronger. The man who avoids them fades into mediocrity. Society tells you safety is the goal, and demonize courage. Reject that. Step into calculated danger. Test yourself. Fail. Get back up. Growth isn't polite. It isn't safe. It demands that you comfort the edges of life. Don't coddle yourself. Don't wait for comfort. Embrace the fails. They forge the man you're meant to become. Rule 12. Pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. This rule isn't about cats. It's about life, about pain, suffering, and the rare moments of beauty that make it bearable. Men who suffer silently often miss those moments. They grind, struggle, and try to control everything, forgetting that life itself is chaotic, unpredictable, and sometimes brutal. Life is pain. There is no escape it, but acceptance. This is the essence of amor fati. Love your fate, embrace your suffering, and find the small, fleeting joys hidden inside the storm. A cat rubbing against your leg, a quiet sunset, a moment of genuine connection. Those are not distractions. They are reminders that you are still still alive, that your spirit is still intact, and that even in chaos, there is something worth experiencing. Don't rush past life in pursuit of some distant victory. Stop, look, feel, touch. Even in darkness, there is a light. Even in suffering, there is depth. Pet the cat. Recognize the beauty in small ordinary moments. They are what keeps the spirit alive and the man grounded. Now, this isn't a single video. Each of the 12 rules deserve its own deep dive. Every rule contains layers of psychology, real-life stories, action steps, and spiritual meaning. And that's exactly what we will get in this series. This isn't motivation, it's identity reconstruction. Every rule is a blueprint for the man you could be if you're willing to face yourself, take responsibility, and rebuild from the ground up. If you ignore those rules, you will stay weak, you'll stay scattered, you will repeat the same cycles of chaos, you will feel behind, lost, and powerless every single day. But if you follow this series, you will think clearly, feel stronger, act with purpose, build a grounded masculine frame, forge a life that commands respect. Every upcoming video will break down one rule in detail. I will show you exactly how to apply it, why it matters, and how it can transform your life. If you want 2026 to be your pivot year, this series is your roadmap. Subscribe now so you don't miss any of those deep dives. And if you want to read the book, you will find it in the description. The transformation begins here. Don't watch it, live it. See you on the next one. Peace.